on one of the most important skills that we could ever learn. That is how to answer questions instantaneously in a way that shows power, authority, credibility, and adds high value to someone else. Whether you're coming for a job interview and someone says, "Why should I hire you?" Or you want to get promoted and someone says, "Why should I promote you over someone else?" Or a client comes and says, "Why should I do business with you?" These are some important questions. There are going to be many other important questions. Or what matters to you most? Why are you here in Toastmasters? So many wonderful questions that we can answer. And we will have an opportunity to answer them, as Akin mentioned, in 1 minute to 2 minutes. Maximum 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Minimum 1 minute. And to help us get there, we have an incredible table topics master, Madam Jessica Sun, who's going to take over from here. Please welcome her. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you for the great intro. Fellow Toastmaster, before we jump into table topic, I want to briefly describe my role today and how table topic will flow. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to pose a series of questions to you on the theme of today's meeting, Inspired. I will randomly call on members of the audience to answer the question I have posed. And like both Anthony and Akin said, you have 1 minute to 2.5 minutes to finish it to be qualified. And you will see a green card at 1 minute, and then 1.5 minutes, you see a yellow card, and then 2 minutes, you see a red card, and then you have 30 seconds to close your speech. And to take the anxiety out of from people, maybe from John and Rhonda, that maybe haven't been with Toastmaster for a while. If you completely draw a blank when I ask the question, you don't really need to answer all the questions. No one is going to grade you, and there's no prize that you lose out for the changing topics. So that means if you cannot answer the question, you can change a question you want to answer. So feel comfortable and take your speech anywhere you want, answer the question, and it's your call. About inspiration, it can come from most mundane and unlikely places. It's rumored that Susan Collins, author of Hunger Games, I bet most of you has watched either the novel or the movie Hunger Games. She actually got inspired, wrote her book simply when she was channel surfing on television. So on one channel, she observed people competing on a reality show. And on the other, she saw footage of the invasion of Iraq. In a news interview, she described how the two experiences began to blur together in her mind, and that's how the ideas for the Hunger Game was formed. So great story about inspiration. So for our first topic, I'm going to pick the number 1 on my screen, Mr. Jorge Alba. Ready?
I'm ready. Go for it.
Great. So can you please tell us about a moment, something you saw, that you heard or experienced, no matter how mundane, that inspired you to take action? And what was it that you were inspired to do? Do you want me to repeat?
No, I think I got it. So let
Thank
me
you.
start. All right. Thank you. Well, there are many things in my life that have caused me to inspire or have inspired me to take action. Many different ways. But probably the one that heartened me the most to take action was the first time that I decided to run a marathon. Literally, I have been running all my life, And actually, what happened is a friend of mine that was a marathon runner asked me to join a marathon group with him because he didn't speak any English and he needed somebody to help him. So I decided to join, mostly to translate for him, but I made it very clear that I was not going to run a marathon with him. Well, after 6 months training with this group and many weekend runs that started with a 3-mile run, then all of a sudden escalated to a 6-mile, all of a sudden we were doing 15 miles. We did an 18-mile run. And at that point, I was thinking like, man, this is awesome. How you feel after you finish a run like this? And I saw how the people was very happy after finishing the run and getting their medals for the run and being extremely happy. And the endorphins were getting all over the place. And I was kind of motivated, but again, it didn't happen on a single incident. It happened over the accumulation of many small experiences, weekend after weekend after weekend. But then after I did that 18-mile run, I said literally, what the heck? I already did 18 miles. I think I can do 26 miles. So I signed up for my first marathon, not knowing what I was getting into. And literally when I got to about mile 20, 21, I was like, I won't do this in my life again. However, as soon as I crossed that finish line, immediately I got that sensation of where do I sign for the next one? And that was it. 20 marathons later, I'm still doing it. Thank you very much, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Thank you. That's a great answer. Actually, I have two marathon runners in my family. And this year, when we did the Houston Chevron Marathon, I know you were there, so I was also tracking you on our app. Yeah, thank you. All right, so I'm going to pick the number 2 on my screen, Mr. Ukpai Kalu. All right, imagine you cannot cook and eat almost every meal out at a restaurant. What food or drink has inspired you enough that you like to make it yourself? And could you tell us why? Do you want me to repeat the question?
That will be fine.
Okay. You want me to do again? Okay. Imagine that you cannot cook and eat almost every meal out at a restaurant. What food or drink has inspired you enough that you like to make it yourself? And could you tell us why?
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. When you talk about food and you talk about preparation on my side, definitely you're talking to the wrong person. Growing up, and I remember when I left home after school, got a job, and I had a home. The first time my mom visited me and saw pot in my house, it was like, what's going on, son? Because when I was growing up with her, you can have the whole meal prepared. If it's not dished out, if it's not made hot for me to start eating, then I would not even eat. I could stay hungry. But when I got to my own place and I was able to realize one evening that I came back home, night was like it would never be daytime. And I stayed hungry and I realized how I grew up was not what the life presents now. And I started talking to people who are gifted to cook. And one of the meals that I like so much, and I will always like to prepare, is beans porridge. And my wife actually traveled 3 weeks ago. And that practice, I made it last week. And when she called me, she told me she would want to have a portion of it. And I want to let you know, I left it and someone tested it and I was given a very high rating that I got it right. So I couldn't have gotten a better inspiration than the person that I know cooks better than me. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you. What a wonderful story. Great. I love beans too. All right. So I'm going to jump to my third speaker, and that is Akin on my screen. I can start timing you. Let me pull out my timer.
You want somebody to do the timing for you, Akin, or?
No, I'll be all right. I'll be
Okay.
all right. I've got my timing device here.
Okay.
Okay.
I may not give myself a green, yellow, whatever, but I'm gonna, once I say the first word, I'll time myself. Thanks.
Okay. All right. My third question is, who do you find to be your greatest inspiration, famous or not, and how have they inspired you? Who do you find to be your greatest inspiration, famous or not, and how have they inspired you?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. My lifetime inspirer has been my dad. He passed away at age 89 while I was in Australia in 2008. And I'm grateful for the life that he lived and the path that he set me on. Why is it that my dad was my chief inspirer? He attended me day in, day out. He gave me the tools that he believed that I would need to be successful in life. And number one is faith. My dad did not leave me a penny, but he left me with faith in God. Number two, he encouraged me to be authentic wherever I am. People may not like me. People may hate me. They may approach whatever I say that I tell them wrongly, but he encouraged me to be authentic no matter what. And through him, I was able to develop my values, which is race, respect, authenticity, integrity, service, and excellence. Those were the values that my father stood for. Those are my values today. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Kim. All right. The next person on my screen is Mr. Zhang. Zhang, can you talk? Do you want to try?
I'm sorry, not today.
Not today. Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll try next week. Next meeting. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So my next one is Rafia. Are you ready? All right. So at 5-year-old, we all dream to be a teacher or fireman if you're a boy. At 15 years old, we all dream to play a movie star or a great singer or something. So can you please tell us what inspired you to choose your current career?
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Table Topic Master. For me, to tell you the truth, I have never dreamed about being a singer or being an actress.
Oh.
Somehow it has never been in my mind. So when I was little, my teacher inspired me a lot. And that was a teacher that I have the positive impact in my mind. And she was the one, she left that impact on me till I grew up. Even now, like I want to be not the typical teacher. I didn't want to be the traditional teacher. And I wanted to be the teacher with the little age group, like the age group that I'm working with. And I learned a lot. And with the time, I had gone through different trainings, but I wanted to stick to this age group. And I really love this age group. Like this must be a teacher that was in my childhood. And even today, like if somebody wants me to switch the career, I cannot. I love these kids and would believe when I go to these kids, I forget what was behind me. So these kids are so loving, and of course they are challenging also. So my teacher, who was in my childhood, she's the one who inspired me. And then I love this profession. I don't feel that I am going to work. So that was the one who stayed and who left the great impact on me. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Rafia. I guess you have your dream job starting from age 5 all the way through now. Great. Thank you. All right. The next question, the next person on my screen is Miss Kim. Kim, are you ready?
I am.
Okay. So can you tell a time, real or imagined, but preferably real, when you saw or met a celebrity, and what did you do? What did they do? So can you tell a time, real or imagined, but preferably real, when you saw or met a celebrity? What did you do? What did they do?
Yes. Thank you for the question, Mrs. Table Topics. What did I do when I met the celebrity? The celebrity is someone that I admire a lot, and I admire their views. One day I went out to eat at a restaurant with me here in Houston, and we were just having lunch, and next thing I turn around because I saw people taking photos, and it was Obama.
Oh.
Yes, and I actually was really surprised because I've always had that person on my bucket list, because not necessarily me agreeing with all his political views, but me just admiring the person he is, admiring how he grew up, and just seeing where he came from and how much he accomplished is very inspiring to me, given all the challenges as a man of his nature in America. Sometimes there are definitely challenges, and I am inspired by the fact that he didn't make excuses. He just took whatever adversities were thrown his way, and he made something amazing out of him. And today, people like me are inspired. Young men like him, whether they're 5 years old, teenagers at any age, can look up and say, I can do that too. That was an amazing day. Thank you. Over to you, Mrs. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Kim. That's a great encounter and great story.
Yes, it wasn't real.
Oh, yeah, that's good. You put together in such a quick response. That's good. You got the impromptu speech. Yeah, that's good. All right. My next person on my screen is Miss Rhonda. Rhonda, are you ready?
You have to top Kim's story.
Okay.
Oh, that is unbeatable. That's unbeatable. So no, I'm not ready.
Do you want to give a try? And if you don't
Yes.
like the question, you can change the question.
That's cute.
All right. So if you could be any age again for 1 week, what age you want to be at and why?
I would have to choose 25. The age 25. I was at my prime. I was in my career. I was having fun. I had not been married. I was enjoying life, teaching aerobics, competing in aerobics competitions, enjoying life. So 25, I would have to say That would be my age of choice. Career-wise, it was in my favor after being out of school for a couple of years and learning the career as an engineer and entering into, just I counted my weaknesses just a few minutes ago, 2 of them already. So as I was in my career, I actually really got involved in the community. I was really proactive in my company's activities for the community. I lived in a small town working for a petrochemicals company in northern Texas, just east of Amarillo, Texas, and got involved in the community. That's where I first started teaching aerobics, learned the community. It was a small oil field. I should not say oil field, but it was more of a oil company, and they had independent oil dealers. And I worked for Phillips Petroleum Company, but I was on the chemical side. So we had about 5 plants in that small town. So it was really, really exciting, a very small town. It took you minutes to run your errands. It took me about 7 to 10 minutes to get to the office. It was a beautiful small town, a lot of activities going on in the small town. So it was very exciting. It was a very exciting career, age, learning new things, and being away from Houston, which was my hometown, but I did not realize, and I did not want to move there. So I wanted to stay in Houston, and I received a job offer prior to accepting, and as a summer intern. So I knew what I was getting myself into, but long story short, I was so engaged and in the community and just really having fun at the age of 25.
Great. Great for the first try. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Thank you.
Last night I asked my daughter, 19 years old daughter, which age do you want to be? And she told me, age 0.
Yeah. I didn't think about that one. That's a good one. Yeah.
She has her reason. She don't want to deal with all the homework, all the pressure, all the stress. Yeah.
Yes, that was great.
All right. So my next person on my screen is Miss Carol. Miss Carol, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Great. All right. So what have you read online on a newspaper or in like watching on TV recently that have inspired you? What have you read online or newspaper, magazines, or watch on TV that have inspired you?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Read online or watched on TV or in the newspaper, and you are you excluding books, literature?
Oh, of course.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I've recently read a book, and it was by the man who was a marvelous chess player. He was a chess player that won all the contests, and right now I can't remember his name, but he wrote a book about war with Russia. This man was brilliant, and he explained in so many well-structured words and chapters in this book about what Russia and Vladimir Putin would do. And the amazing thing is, he wrote it about in 2015, in the first invasion of Ukraine by Vladimir Putin. Exactly the same situation that we are in today. He is a Russian fellow himself. He was in Russia when the communist government fell. He was one of the ones that was at the leading forefront of getting a democratic government installed in Russia. He used his personality and his well-known strength and his international fame as a chess player to help bring that about. However, within the next 5 years, Vladimir Putin, with the help of his oligarchs, prevented Russia from going into a democratic situation. And we are seeing exactly the same situation today that this young man warned us of. I wish we had taken action at the time as he recommended. Thank you very much, Ms. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Ms. Carol. That's a great book. All right, my last one on my list is Mr. Anthony, Toastmaster. Are you ready?
Oh, I think I'll do what John did. I'll pass. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
We won't
I'm
accept
picking on
that from
John.
you.
I just gotta pick
We
on
won't take
John.
that from you. No way. No way.
Nice try, though.
Yeah. We won't let you go. Yeah. All right. So my question is very simple. What motivates you to work every day? What motivates you to work every day? No matter you work at church, at Toastmaster, at your own business, whatever work. What motivates you to do that every day?
Wow. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing that comes to my mind is to cry out in prayer, to align myself with my Creator. And I cry out the words that truly move my heart to connect to what matters most. I cry out, Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy on me. And as I connect with God, I remember how He has poured out His life and He's given everything of Himself, emptied Himself in order to transform us, in order to bless us, in order to move us from our current state to a greater state, to become not just human, but superhuman, not just superhuman, but as gods. And to transform us, God became man that man might become as gods. And to that end, He gave us talents, opportunities, finances, and all kinds of people into our lives in order to pour out our hearts into them. This word agape is an ancient Greek word, and it means the highest form of love. And I truly get it from Him because God is agape. And He desires for us to experience that agape and to give that love infinitely unto others. And what motivates me to work is to try to find new ways to encourage others to experience that same love, to experience that love as they use their talents, as they use their talents to bless one another, not just to make money and die, but to be able to provide for our families and to provide for our co-workers and to encourage one another, to hearten one another regularly in order to inspire one another to a greater place than what we could be without God and without each other. It's going to be hard to say this in these few seconds, but those are the first words that come to my mind of what inspires me to work every day and to add value to others, to encourage them to love as God has loved me.
Thank you. That's really touching, heartening reply, answer. Thank you. Wow. All right, so I have go around the room. I think we have a new guest just join us. Mr. Michael, do you want to do a quick introduction? What bring
Michael,
you
thank you
here?
for joining us. Would you like to introduce yourself to the group once more?
Thank you. Good evening. Hello, Toastmaster. My name is Michael Bemudia. I'm sorry I came in late. I just came back from work. I said I've been wanting to come in. I couldn't just make it here on time. So that's just me. Thank you.
I'm so glad you were able to join us. Truly welcome. Wonderful. I understand.
Thank you very much.
Right
And I
from
appreciate your call yesterday. I was very glad when you called me yesterday. So I was just jumping up in my office, telling my friends about it. I showed them your books. And they were asking, who is he? I was like, you want to know him, you have to join our Toastmaster. He said they're going to think about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm so glad. That is very heartening. I look forward to you continue to hearten others as you have. Wonderful, great job. With that, we also want to hearten you to take on a table topics question. You'll have between 1 minute to 2.5 minutes to answer a question. Just give it your best shot. And when the green screen comes behind Akin, it will tell you you've qualified. Don't get beyond the red 30 seconds. And all you do, just give your best impromptu answer to Jessica's questions. Would that be okay?
That's fine. That's okay.
Wonderful.
Great. Thank you, Michael, to accept the challenge. Like I said earlier before you join, if you find the question is totally blank to you, you can choose a question you want to answer. You can just make up a question and you can answer. All right. So what do people think they know about your birthplace that isn't true? What do people think they know about your birthplace that isn't true?
Wow.
Is that for me?
Yes.
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Sure. What do people think they know about your birthplace, where you're born? People may think different things about your birthplace, but what they think is not true. It doesn't reflect where you actually were born.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, for that question. As a matter of fact, a lot of people think Africa lives in a hut. They think we are from the bush. They think we live on the trees. Some of them even think we don't have computers. When you tell them about Africa, when I tell them about Nigeria, they were like, "What? Where is that?" Because they think Africa is a country, not knowing that Africa is actually a continent with a lot of countries in Africa. So those are the things they don't know from my birthplace, most especially Nigeria. And not to talk about Benin City, where I'm actually from. They still think that people over there still live in the bush because of the perception they get from the TV of those people that go over there for humanitarian aid. They show them all kinds of pictures of people that are suffering, people that are walking on the street suffering, people that doesn't have pipe-borne water. The best medical doctor here in the US is from Nigeria. The best medical doctor that separated those conjoined twins from Nigeria. We have a lot of Nigerian expatriates all over the world. So because of that, I tell these people that my best place is not just, is different from what you think about it. We are from a great nation and with great people of great mind and people that can change the world. So that's my take on that. Over to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Great answer. First time try. Great. All right. So I have 2 more questions, and I think everybody has had their turn. So who want to volunteer? Mr. Akin. All right. So you mentioned earlier that you want to give back. You want to serve others. What inspired you to give back and serving others other than your father?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. What is the source of my inspiration to want to give back and keep giving back? Number one, most of you know my story. My mother passed away when I was 10. Just picture that. A number of people rallied around me. A number of people provided for my needs. A number of people prayed for me. A number of people gave me food. A number of people gave me money. And I'm not making this up. When I look back now, even though some of those people, they probably already passed away, they've got relations who heard my story. I tell people, because of my background, if I'm going to write any non-technical book, the title of that book is going to be The Impossible Story. People make my story possible today. God used them. There's nothing that I give anybody today that is too much. There is no limit to how far I want to go during the remainder of my life here on earth, other than to give, and give. No end to it. That is what the centerpiece of the remainder of my life is. And if you see any opportunity for me to give, call upon me. If I am available, I will give. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Akim. Very powerful speech. Thanks. All right, I have one last question. So who want to give it a try? Okay, Miss Carol. You are muted, Miss Carol.
Master, I appreciate another opportunity to give another of these talks. Thank you. These are wonderful.
Thank you. So, Miss Carol, I know you are currently a member of 3 clubs and you have been with Toastmaster for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you to keep coming back to meeting after meeting, club after club?
Thank you for that question. I appreciate it. And it is the people. It is the people. I enjoy seeing the faces. I enjoy talking to the people and hearing their story. Southwest Project Managers is a very diverse club. And I love that diversity. I love the different stories. I love the story from Nigeria. There's a lot of people from Nigeria that are in my church, and the ladies come in with those the hats that they've made and the dresses that they've made. I think it's lovely. I asked our women's club if they would have the ladies come and show everybody how they make those hats and twist them on their heads. I love the different kinds of people that are available here. Here's Rafia with her, is it a hijab? Is that what that is on your head? I worked with a young woman who was in very much in your same mode. She had a hijab on her head. Jorge, and I've worked with people like you, very much like you in my life, and Kim and Ukpai and Jessica. I've worked with so many different people and I've taken away something from them. I hope I've given them something every time that I have met them. I was inspired by Akin's story. I will have to tell you, I lost my mother at 6 and I went to an orphanage. And I have to tell you that the nuns in that orphanage were kind, loving, decent people, and I will never, ever be able to repay. The only thing you can do is pay forward. And you pay forward as you move forward with your life. Thank you very much, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you. Thank you for wonderful speeches, everybody. So we have 11 speeches. Mr. Timer Has everybody qualified?
Madam Table Topics Master, one person did not qualify, but if I may crave your indulgence and that of Mr. Toastmaster, I'd really like us to vote for her as well, and that is Rhonda. She was going to stop at 32 seconds, and then I did this. And then she got wound up, and she couldn't stop after 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So because I caused her to do that, I would please, if you guys don't mind, let us vote for her, please.
You gave her too much energy.
Yeah, I wound her up, I said this, and then she kept going.
All right, is that okay, Mr. Toastmaster?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. I think it's
Okay. All
I
right.
was
So,
laughing my head off when I saw that, and I saw her seeing the red, and I said, "Wow, once you get it going, she can't stop. That's great."
yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I was doing this and doing this, but she didn't stop. I said, okay, keep going, just let's do this.
All right. That's great. So please vote. I think our our president is prepared for the before that. I can give a quick summary.
Yeah,
doing what?
sorry, Madam Table Topics Master. Because
Yes.
this is probably going to be the only time we report give the timers report. I can just tell everybody people's time now, if you don't mind, just to save us time.
Yeah.
Ohe, 2 minutes, 17 seconds. Ukwai, 1 minute, 57 seconds. Akin 1 minute, 35 seconds. Rafia, 1 minute, 33 seconds. Kim, 1 minute, 41 seconds. Rhonda, 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Carol 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Anthony, 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Michael, 1 minute and 35 seconds. Akin 2, 1 minute and 49 seconds. Carol 2, 1 minute and 59 seconds. Back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Great, thank you. So just I reflect for what everybody have done. So Jorge, he did a speech about how how he was inspired to do marathon for 20 years. And second, we have Upai. He's talking about the food he made, and beans is favorite. And then Akin, his first speech is talking about who his dad is his greatest inspiration. And then the fourth one is Rafia. Since the age of 5, his dream job is teacher, and she still is. And number 5 is Miss Kim, and she talked about how she encountered Mr. Obama. Imagine, that's a great speech. And our sixth speaker, Miss Rhonda, and talk about she always want to be at age 25. And Miss Carol talk about the book about the Russian and Ukraine. That's a great book. And our eighth speaker, Mr. Anthony, and talk about what inspired him to go to work, and that's God. It's a great, powerful speech. And our visitor, Michael, is the ninth speaker, and he talked about Nigeria, his birthplace, how it's different from other people's will. And a 10th speaker, Akin, he talked about how serving people, how he was inspired to serve people. And Carol, our last speaker, talked about what bring her back to the club state, meeting after meeting, club after club. That's really great answer. Thank you. So, Mr.
For doing all of this. Yes. Great round of applause. Thank you very much. And thank you everyone for participating. Everyone that did this. Fantastic. I absolutely love it. With that, we now come to our general evaluator section, where she is going to introduce the different team members, and they're going to present their report and their observations and how they're going to hearten our members with their great insights. Please take it away, Rhonda.
Thank you so much, Anthony. It was great. This was a great session. Okay, so we are now ready for our reporting session with the grammarian, please, Ms. Kim.
Thank you, Mrs. General Evaluator. Today's session, we witnessed some fine language use, and I'm going to give a report of the meeting. I did not find any incorrect pronunciation of words. For word of the day, I believe Jorge, Anthony, and Akin used the word of the day. I hope I didn't miss anyone. And I also wrote down some noteworthy and inspirational quotes that I hope that some of you will write them down. Jorge, I'll start with you. You said, I was inspired by seeing others accomplishing their marathon goals, and I ended up participating myself. Ukpai, the person that I know cooks better than me, my wife. Akin, your dad taught me about your faith in God. And the four, respect, authenticity, integrity, service, excellence. I just love those values that you always share, Akin. Rafia, I love this profession. I don't feel like I'm going to work. Rhonda, teaching aerobics. I was just having fun. I was heavily involved in the community. Anthony, first thing in the morning, I cry out in prayer to align myself with my maker. And God is agape, the highest form of love. Michael, great nation, great people, great mind, people that can take over the world. I can too. If you see any opportunity to give, call upon me and I will give. Carol, too. Kind, the nuns were kind, loving, and decent people. The only thing that you can do in this world is to pay it forward. Thank you everyone for participating in today's message, and everybody's answers were theme aligned, and I found everybody just gave wonderful, inspiring responses. Over to you, Mrs. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ms. Kim. I really appreciate that. That was really all. And thank you for this opportunity.
Great job, great job. And hopefully some of you are enjoying this. I don't know if you can see it, sometimes shows up, but we're just making sure we keep that energy level going in all our meetings. Especially when you're online, you want to make sure you wake up. By the way, if you have a chance, this is not a bad time. You've been sitting a while in a meeting, not a bad time to stand a little bit, stretch a little bit, move around, make sure you get some energy coming back up, because we're coming towards the last few minutes. I don't want to lose that energy as we're going forward to the end of the meeting. I want to make sure you're able to keep it going. If you've been sitting for more than 20 minutes, this is one of the professional speaking tips. If you've been sitting for more than 20 minutes, your body starts to atrophy. And if you are a professional speaker, you notice people sitting for more than 20 minutes, find a reason to get them off their chair and get them moving. Why? Because you're not speaking for yourself, you're speaking to add value to others. And if their brain is dying, they're not getting the most value. You want to make sure you get that value. Bravo, thank you for participating in that. I am definitely heartened by everyone's participation, and I'm really enjoying it just as much as Michael is. It says very interesting and engaging session. He is loving it also. With that, we had come up with the competition, and I think is a fun competition. In our competition, we had been given certain people that had been awarded by everybody else. And for some reason, my chat just disappeared. I'm not sure why. There it is. We're back again. Okay. And we had been written as, there are several people. Two people I want to recognize specially. They were also awarded in the top speakers tonight. And that was Akin and Carol, who both took 2 table topics questions and knocked it out of the park. Bravo, great job. Both of you, fantastic. The other person that got nominated for the top position was yours truly. And the person that I'm going to give it to tonight is our number 4 person, because he jumped into the last minute and he took a question and he took the initiative. And I want to congratulate Michael for taking that. Thank you very much. And that is wonderful.